Hello everyone, my name is Dev and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be showing all of you how you can get Bloodpoint games like this and this on killers. The aim of this guide is going to be to teach you how to get blood points in the most efficient way possible for killers, regardless of patches, events, anniversaries, it doesn't matter. This is going to be a more long form information style video. Timestamps for where you need to go to look for specific tips and tricks will be down in the description below. And without further ado, let's hop right into the guide. So the first tip I have for you guys is to back out to the main menu and check where the blood point bonuses are. If there are too many killers in queue, you will get a bonus to playing as Survivor, and if you are playing as Survivor and there are too many Survivors, you will get a bonus for playing Killer. Now, wherever this bonus is where you should be doing and what you should be playing to maximize your blood point efficiency from a game-to-game perspective, but this guide is all about killers, so we're going to assume that it's on Killer, and we're going to pick Killer. Alright everyone, so the last tip that I can give you guys to get more blood points on killers is to always burn blood point offerings. If you click on the offering section, you go to the search bar and you type in blood points, all one word, you should see that you have a large array of different rarities and different qualities of blood point boosting offerings. If you are new on the killer that you're playing and you don't have these, that kind of sucks, but they're very common. If I go over to my blood web, you can see I just have a deviousness category boost right here, and I'm sure once I go to the next level, 2-3 more in the blood web, they're very common. They'll show up all the time, so always be burning these, especially if you're farming for blood points. Alright everyone, so this next section I'm going to be talking about something that I should have talked about on Survivor maybe, but didn't really think it was important, which is the categories and how you actually gain blood points in them. Because for killers, this is a very, very big deal. Killers have 4 categories that you can fill with 10,000 blood points each for a max total of 40,000 blood points. They are Brutality, Hunter, Sacrifice, and Deviousness. Each one of these categories gain blood points for doing specific actions. Brutality you get for damaging pallets, generators, grabbing survivors, and hitting survivors. Hunter. You get Hunter points for finding survivors and chasing survivors. Sacrifice. For hooking survivors, killing survivors, and sacrificing survivors. Deviousness. Deviousness is gained from killer-specific power events. You also get a Deviousness bonus for killing all 4 survivors in a match. And you also get Deviousness points for opening the gates and closing the hatch. Now, why am I bringing this up for Killer when I did not for Survivor? Well, to put it quite frank, Survivors play the exact same way regardless of character. You can lock in a Michaela Reed game and it will play the exact same way as a Jake Park game. The strength of Survivors comes from their numbers and their perks, because Survivor perks are fundamentally designed differently from Killer perks. Because Survivors have to interact with other players and Killers don't. They have no teamwork. So what it all really comes down to is a Killer's ability to farm Deviousness points consistently, either through spamming or otherwise, their ability to hit survivors consistently and damage gens and pallets, their ability to find survivors and chase survivors effectively, and the most important thing, the ability to actually kill the survivors in the match. Even while playing at the most effective manner possible, if you hit every survivor multiple times, you have great chases and you find survivors constantly and you're using your power effectively, if you hook nobody, you're still missing out on a possible 10,000 blood points in a match. So, who do you pick? What killer should you be playing? Well, I made this tier list to help you out based on the ability for these killers to either win chases, spam abilities, or how much I legitimately like them. Because at the end of the day, the killer that you play matters a little bit, but if you are a really god tier trapper, but you cannot play Nurse to save your life, you should not be playing Nurse. You should be playing Trapper. All right, so you found the killer that you really, really like. You found a killer that meshes with your playstyle, that's good at farming. So what am I gonna be doing in the game? Well, first and foremost, you do not want to be killing survivors. And I know that sounds weird in a lot of instances, unless you have a killer power that can kill survivors like Sadako or Myers with Tombstone or whatever. You really shouldn't be killing survivors. I know it feels nice, but you should probably take the Moris off. Next, avoid these meme add-ons. A lot of killers have this brown add-on that for some reason gives you blood points for neutering your power. A lot of people are going to see this and be like, oh, duh, I'm gonna bring that. I'm farming blood points. Don't bring them in unless you really want to. If you love running Speed Limiter on Bubba, or you love running Padded Jaws on Trapper, feel free to do that, but it's not gonna help you farm blood points most efficiently because these blood points do not move above cap. So once you hit cap, you're just done. And that brings me on to these next couple perks that I see get recommended in every single guide. Distressing gives you more deviousness points, Thrill the Hunt gives you more hunter points, and Beast of Prey give you more hunter points. The problem with these perks is distressing can be really good in a build that you want to use it in, but it's not for the blood point gain. Thrill of the Hunt, the exact same reason. Beast of Prey is just bad. I would not bring this. It's kind of a gimmick in a lot of instances where you are bringing these specific perks in because they boost blood points in categories that you may have issues with. So you're playing a bad killer. You're playing a killer that has a power that can't use deviousness. You're playing a killer who struggles in chase, so you're bringing in these chase perks. So don't bring these meme perks, even though they do boost your blood points. And I know that's going to probably sound weird to a lot of people, but you'll get more blood points by just playing the game properly than you will by trying to squeeze extra blood points out of thin air using meme add-ons and perks. The next one is do not slug survivors if you don't have to, right? So you don't get points if a survivor bleeds to death. So that's a waste of time and kind of bad sportsmanship in general. I don't recommend doing bleed outs ever. So only slug in situations where it makes sense for you to be doing that. If it's the most efficient thing for you to do on a killer to play a hit and run style, or perhaps the survivors around you are doing a Sabo build, or they have flashlights, etc., don't leave them slugged on the ground for 1,000 years. And especially don't feel tempted to do the 4-man slug out builds, because you will get 4 survivors dead, possibly, just first hooks on all of them. That's not going to give you half as many blood points if you hook all survivors 3 times. Don't fall like prey to a lot of the common traps that people will try to convince you of on YouTube. Stay away from the meme add-ons, stay away from the Mori, stay away from the blood point boosting perks because they don't go above the category limit. And finally, don't slug unnecessarily. You can slug, just don't do it all the time. Oh, so what do you recommend that I do? I recommend that you play the game in the exact way you want to play the game. That's my general strategy. I personally love the perk Barbecue and Chili. It doesn't give you blood points anymore. I just like the aura reading part of it. It became a regular part of the way I play the game from back when Barbecue and the Chili was overpowered. So I use it every single game. Is it an S tier perk on every killer? Absolutely not. Is it something that you should bring into every single game? If you want to, makes perfect sense. Do whatever makes you comfortable. But that being said, you need to do whatever makes you comfortable and extends the game for as long as possible. Because the longer you're in a match with survivors, the more chances you have to hit them and kick gens and vault windows, etc., etc. So bring something that will slow down the game a little bit, and that sounds very abstract, and that can mean many different things for many different killers. The perks that you bring in for killers are not the same as the perks you bring in for survivors. The perks that you bring in for killers are meant to change fundamental issues with your character's kit. If you have bad chase or you get fucked by windows, bring in Bam Bam. Bam Bam the fuck out of that window. If you're a character that has poor pressure, bring in Deadlock. It will make you win more games, right? If you have a weak early game or you need to get the ball rolling and it's all momentum based for your killer, bring in Corrupt, bring in Lethal Pursuer. Play to your character's strengths. That is my general advice. Well, yeah, guys, that was all the tips that I have for farming blood points on killer. I hope you all enjoyed. I've been Dev. Peace out, you nerds.